Hi everyone, welcome back to a new process video. Today I'm here to share a layout with you for the Cut Shop using one of our new background cut files. This is the Addicted to Love background cut file. I'm using the 12 by 12 size. It's also available in 8.5 by 11 size. And I want to cut it down just a bit. I cut the full 12 by 12 size, but I only want to use just a smaller portion of it, so I'm going to cut off the first two rows of hearts. And I cut it in white cardstock because I'm going to add some color using the Reeves watercolor paints. I'm working with the Simple Stories Life Documented collection, and so I want to use some paints that will coordinate with the colors in that collection. So I'm just going to paint each row of hearts with a different color, and I'm starting out with the Crimson Red from the Reeves watercolor paints, and I'm just going to add that to the first row of hearts. And I'm going to just have 4 different colors to go along with the Life Documented collection to pull out those colors. And the next color I'm going to use a gray, so I'm mixing Payne's Gray and the Chinese White paint together just to get a little bit lighter gray color. It was kind of dark and I wanted to lighten it up a lot, so I'm just mixing those, and I didn't quite like the color, so I added just in a little bit more white to get that more to the consistency that I wanted. This is a great way to extend your pattern paper life. If you use watercolors, you can coordinate your watercolors with the papers that are in a collection. And I didn't have any solids with this one, so I really wanted this to have a solid look, and so I liked that I could use the paints to add those colors that I wanted. And now I'm creating a navy, so I am using the blue from the Reeves watercolor, and I'm adding some ivory black to that just to make it a little bit darker, more of a navy color. And the last color that I'm going to add to the final row is a sap green, and I'm going to mix in a little bit of white with that one also, just to lighten it up a bit and get a lighter color green. And once I get all those colors on there, I'm going to use my heat gun just to dry it up a bit. Some of the paint got on the back side, so I wanted to make sure that was all dry before I put it on my background paper. And I used the Words to Live By paper for my background. The other side has a lot of fun days of the weeks, and I wanted to use the graph side that had the lines because I was going to be adding a lot of color with the paint. So now I just stuck my photo there, and I wanted that little heart to overlap. And since that part is open on the center of the heart, I'm just going to add a little teeny piece of yellow behind there just to differentiate that heart from the photo background. So I'm just going to stick that behind there and adhere it down on my photo. And I'm not worried about the rest of my cut file because I'm about to stitch all that. I'm going to stitch all those down using my sewing machine, so that will adhere the cut file to my page. Machine stitching is a great way to add the cut files to your layouts, and that way when you have one that is intricate like this or has a lot of cuts and you don't want to have to sit and add a lot of adhesive behind it, you can just do a quick stitch. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you could just add some hand stitching. That would work too. So I'm just going to do 2 rows of those for you, but I am going to stitch each one just to make sure that it is secure on the layout to hold everything down. And now I'm going to start adding a few embellishments. And don't get me wrong, I love all the design teams I'm on, but I really like doing the layouts for the Cut Shop because it allows me just to kind of use whatever I want on my page, anything from my stash that I can put together. So I just kind of get to pull embellishments that I've bought and saved, and these were actually from Walmart, and they were the little jelly bean soup cork stickers. I found those. Sometimes I just like to browse the scrapbook section when I go in Walmart because you never know what you might find in there, and so I got lucky one day and just found those and picked them up. And I'm just going to add some wood veneers. You kind of probably noticed that most of my pages are going to include some kind of spray mist, some kind of stitching, some wood veneers, probably a flare button, and usually thickers or something like that. I usually have a pattern of the things that I like to use on my pages as far as embellishments and things like that. And I've really enjoyed incorporating the watercolors lately. That's been really fun. And I have worked with them a little bit before. I just never really liked the way it made my paper crinkle so bad. That was kind of annoying, but I've kind of learned how to get that to flatten out, so I'm enjoying using those a little bit more. And now I'm going to start working on building my title. I'm using the Thinking Out Loud pattern paper from the Simple Stories Life Documented collection, and I'm actually going to just cut out some of those words. My title is Today is a Good Day to Be Awesome, and so a lot of those words were actually on the paper. So I'm just going to cut some of those out and arrange them, and then I'm going to mix in some chenille letter stickers to complete the title. So I'm just going to clip a couple of those words and get them on, and now you see that I've gotten all the words cut from the paper. So I'm just kind of going along and adhering those, and I'm grabbing a couple of those black chenille letter stickers just to complete the title and finish it out. I do like the contrast of the black on the page, just to have a pop of that contrast on there with the colors. And I liked that the word awesome was repeated in the yellow and the blue. So I just kind of cut out two of those in yellow and then one in the blue just to layer at the bottom of the title. So I'm just getting the rest of those on for the title and finishing that part up. And I want to add a few more embellishments, so I grabbed the wood drop stickers from Pink Fresh Studio. I really love these. I have I think like 8 packs of them, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do when I run out, and if Canary doesn't carry any more in the store, I might cry, because I really love these. They're a fun embellishment to add to your pages. And so I just want to continue that little cluster, so I'm going to add a few enamel dots. These are from Freckled Fawn, and I like that you can have the different sizes, so I'm just kind of mixing those. And I'm going to also add some near my photo. That little star clip is also from Freckled Fawn, and I didn't want to clip it because of the location that I was placing it, so I just added a little bit of hot glue to the back of that and added it right there below my photo. And I'm going to use the 3 different sizes of the enamel dots just to add right there under the photo. And I want to get the date on my page, so that little tab right there under the word doc is a perfect spot. So I'm just going to stamp the date with my chenille stamp a couple of times just to have that date added. And I decided that I wanted a little something more on that word today, so I just used my tiny attacher to add some staples. And since I added those, I didn't want to stick it back down with my tape runner adhesive, so I just added a little hot glue to make sure that that would hold down since it had the staples in it. And there is my plethora of date stamps and phrase stamps. I really like having those. You can use them just to add some fun little phrases to your layout. So I'm just going to stamp using the October afternoon phrase stamp a couple of times there under my photo. And I pretty much have the layout close to what I want. I don't want to add a lot of embellishing to cover up the cut file, so now I'm just going to cover my photo, and I'm going to finish off by adding some color shine, black color shine, sprinkled over the layout. And I'm just going to finish it up with those last few drops. And I would love for you to visit the blog, thecutshop.blogspot.com, to check out our cut files. These are the sets that you'll find in the shop today that are new. And you can also check out the layout and the close-ups. Thanks for joining me today.